Hello, my name is Ronald Reaves. I work as a chef, personal chef, and restaurant chef. I am the owner of John Rock, a food fusion concept that blends Southern comfort food along with island flavors and tastes. My story, I got into cooking at an early age. It was something that I was always into. I would watch my grandmother and my great-grandmother go into the kitchen and just whip up what seemed like magic to me. My great-grandmother, my nanny, I never saw her use any type of measurements, anything like that. She would just sprinkle until it seemed like the spirit said, that's enough. And she would just move on to the next step. So it was something that I was always into. There was also a chef on the Food Network years ago. I'm not even sure what his name was. He was some guy from Louisiana who cooked with wine and alcohol all the time. And I would love to see him cook because he'd go, ooh-wee, pour a little bit into the saute pan, and then he would take a little sip for himself. So I liked his swagger in the kitchen. 2004, fast forward a little bit, I had come home from Iraq after serving on the front line, and it was just tough putting the pieces of the puzzle back together again to be able to move forward. And just went through many years of just seemed like never-ending hell. Family saying that they didn't care what was going on with me. It wasn't even about me, so we don't care what you have going on. Dealing with the depression and everything that I witnessed being in Iraq, with even the Veteran Affairs saying that, you know, be a man and get over it. So it was just a lot of ups and downs, homelessness and all that good stuff. And one day while staying in a homeless shelter for veterans, I had come across some information for a cooking program, which I took full advantage of. That program was with DC Central Kitchen here in Washington, DC. And from there, I just worked it. I really didn't want to use my GI Bill money to pay for school. That to me was useful, but at that particular time, it wasn't useful. So I didn't want to waste it. So what I did, instead of going back to school after graduating from their program, I used restaurants as my classroom. So I pretty much went to basically every restaurant here in Washington, D.C. and a few in Maryland, and basically asked could I work for free, which they call staging. And I would work there for a day, maybe a weekend, and I would just learn that way, and that became my classroom. And upon graduating from DC Central Kitchen, my first job straight out of the gate, personal chef to the bishops of the Catholic Church here in Washington, D.C. at Catholic University. At the same time, I was cooking at FamilyMeal. I cooked for the executives there as well as the CEO. And everything just went forward from that point on. I've been a catering chef for the Washington Redskins. I've cooked for professional athletes. I've cooked for federal heads of state, congressmen, congresswomen. Oh man, I've Cirque du Soleil, helped open MGM and various other restaurants here in DC before starting my own business, which came from the help of street entrepreneurs. Which was very, very, very beneficial. Everything seemed to fall into place at the right time. When I had come across the information about street entrepreneurs, I was actually looking for a school that I could attend to be able to learn the business side of being in the restaurant, food and beverage arena. And I was trying to figure out where I was going to get the money from, because I sure enough didn't have it. And coming across information about street entrepreneurs and Juliana was just a weight off my shoulders, because I was afforded the opportunity to learn those ins and outs, how to put a business plan together, how to market, the new way business is done, which seems to be social media, and how to market to your people through that arena. Just a lot of networking with other like-minded individuals. It's been more than what I was expecting, and more than I bargained for. But I was very thankful and appreciative of what it is that this organization stands for and how they're looking to level the playing field when it comes to making things accessible. They cut through the fluff, they get straight to business, and you need to be ready when you come through these doors, because it's one thing to pray for an opportunity, but when that opportunity comes, you need to be ready for it. When I was a boxer, all of my coaches would always say, "Stay ready, so you don't have to get ready." So, coming across Student Entrepreneurs, it was me staying ready and being ready for the opportunities that came. What is next for me is to make the transition to 100% working for myself and building up my brand, and pretty much telling my story, what it is that I'm trying to do. Food, cooking, food and beverage, the whole service industry as a whole has now become my safe place. I'm very big on giving back to veterans. It is my number one issue with giving back to my veteran community the same thing that I was able to get back from cooking, which is confidence, knowing that you can do what it is that you're setting out to do. We already have the skill set for it. We just need that small little confidence booster to help us get over that small bump in the road, and more importantly, learning how to move after the fact. It was very difficult, as I said before, coming home trying to put the pieces of the puzzle back together. But just having that avenue to be able to vent with food, to be able to put together a masterpiece, as I call it, together on a plate and serve it to someone, was a big weight off my shoulders for myself, and it allowed me to be able to communicate more with my environment, my family, friends, and everyone, to be able to get them to understand what it was that I was dealing with. The cooking show, Family Meal, is an idea that I came up with recently. It's based off the premise of working in the restaurants, either at the beginning of the shift or at the end of our work shift. We tend to have a few things that are extra that we may or may not need, and the sous chef or the executive chef, what we'll do is we'll just take those things and just put together a big meal, and we'll serve everyone in-house who's working that particular day. We call it Family Meal. The one time where front of the house, which is the servers, the bartenders, and whoever else, as well as the back of the house, which will be the cooks, your dishwashers, actually come together and talk, joke, and do whatever it is that they do. I'm taking that idea and I'm flipping it to where I'm inviting veterans, current serving service members, and their family members over to my home. They're helping me to put together a 5-star menu, and we're sitting down, we're discussing how PTSD has affected our lives, but more so putting an emphasis on what it is that we did and continue to do every day to overcome that distraction of PTSD, to live our lives and accomplish the things that we set out to accomplish. Unfortunately, no. PTSD does not go away, but with the right tools in place, you learn to live with it. It's basically a perception reversal. So as I was telling someone earlier, just someone drilling, working on something in an construction zone, to me, that sounds like machine gun fire. So that's going to put me in a certain state of mind. my alarm clock going off. Sounds like the warning for a scud attack. That definitely puts me in a certain place of mind. So to this day, I have never had a cell phone in which it was never on silent. It's always on silent because I do not like sudden sounds. Working in kitchen environments, I've been very proactive with trying to get a lay of the land. So I need to know everything that's going on in there. So you just find different ways to deal with what it is that you're dealing with, and at the same time, you have to be open and honest to yourself as well as with your coworkers about what it is that you're dealing with. To give you an example, last week we're in the kitchen and we're burning off some charcoal, these Japanese coals for the sushi grill, and pop, 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 they started to pop. I instantly, whoa, what's that? I jumped, and then I thought to myself, okay, I'm at work, I'm in a restaurant, this is not Iraq. And I said it out loud. I'm not in Iraq, I'm at work. I'm not in Iraq, I'm at work. My mentor and my executive chef both heard me say that. They asked a couple questions, and I explained to them what was going on. They understood without me having to go into great detail on anything, and we moved past it. So it doesn't go anywhere. It's something that will always affect you. But just as when I was a professional boxer, I had to find a way to be able to beat the person who was better than I was, whether he was faster, hit harder, or was just a better athlete altogether. I myself had to find a way to deal with this opponent. And that's the way I deal with it. I face it head on and find ways to get my jab and combinations off. The advice that I would give to anyone, male, female, regardless of their military branch or affiliation, is to be honest with yourself. You cannot fix what you're not willing to face. Bottom line, we know what it is that we deal with. We know that when we share certain things with our loved ones, family members, or friends, they really don't have anything for us because they have no frame of reference. War is something that you have to experience. So even in their sincerity and trying to help the situation, a lot of times they'll make it worse because they just don't know what to ask, and may not even realize they're asking the wrong thing. It's not that we don't want to share, but it's that we've done a very good job with putting those memories to the back of our brain, locking them in a file cabinet, and throwing away the key. So to ask veterans certain things, you're forcing them to share things that they're trying to forget. If you can get them to share anything, what they're saying is they trust you enough with their emotions that you know how to deal with them. And a lot of times the people around us just aren't equipped for that, which is why I'm a very big component of going to a therapist and sitting and talking with them, because once it's unpacked, those things need to be packed back up properly. And our loved ones and our friends just don't have the tools to be able to do that. So I would tell anyone who's dealing with PTSD, especially my service members, be honest with yourself, be open and communicative about what it is that you're dealing with, the things that trigger you, and seek out help from the VA, or a therapist that you can find to help you deal with things that you don't even know is triggering you as well. Well, for anyone who wants to get in contact with me, the best way to contact me, email personalchef16@outlook.com. That's personalchef, the number 16 at outlook.com, or through Instagram at The Chef Ron Show. on Instagram. Um, those are the two best ways to contact me for right now. Being a business owner is the best outcome for me because it gives me a sense of control over my own destiny. Uh, one of the problems I had with the military and everything else after the military was that I felt as if it put a limit on what it was that I could do and how much I could make. So in the military, you can make it up to sergeant major, it was like an E9, and that's a cap on how much money you can make. Coming out of the military and working for different employers, I realized that I'm putting all this time and equity into this business and this company, and at any given moment I could lose this job, and that's that. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. That's very commendable. But I want control and destiny over this that I'm trying to do and provide for my family. I have never met an employer who hired me to make me rich. So that's what being an entrepreneur has meant for me, a sense of control over my own destiny. The workshop that I have most enjoyed, well, it's been all of them to be honest with you, but the ones who stand out the most have been the marketing and the business plan workshop.